Your choice. I'm using tandoori lamb, which I made earlier today, but you could use tandoori chicken, you could use stewed lamb or chicken, you could use paneer, anything you want to use. It's the sauce that we're making really, and then you just put whatever you want to into that. So you don't have to make lamb madras with this, although that is very nice. And this is, of course, from my new book. It's also in the red book. It's the lamb madras recipe. But I'm going to be making it for 1 to 2 people. So it's going to be a curry house portion rather than the 4-person portions that are in my book. If you're following the recipe in my book, because I do know a few of you are cooking tonight with me, it's the same thing. So just when I'm adding things, you just add them at the same time. You might be adding a little bit more than me, but that's fine. So it's the same process. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we've got here. We've got some cardamom pods and also some Kashmiri whole chilies, which I'm going to infuse in some oil just to get it started and get some flavor into that oil. I got some garlic and ginger paste, some chilies, and I'm just using this type right here, the bird's eye chilies. I got about 3 bird's eye chilies there. Then with my spices, I've got 2 teaspoons of cumin and about a teaspoon of ground coriander. I got a tablespoon of mixed powder, which is a curry house style curry powder. I'm just gonna put that in there just so I can add everything at the same time. It does help. I got a tablespoon of chili powder, Kashmiri chili powder. Now this is a Madras, so they're supposed to be spicy, but that doesn't mean that you need to make it so spicy that you don't enjoy it. So if a tablespoon sounds like a little bit much for you, then obviously tone it down some. Just put a half teaspoon in, put a teaspoon in, whatever you feel is going to be right for your taste. Feel free to adjust this recipe as much as you like, because if you put too much spice into it at one time, it's really hard to cool down. But if you just add a little bit and then you find out later that, oh, I could take a little bit more, then there's no reason why you can't stir some more chili powder in there and make it it's perfect for your taste. On top of that, I've got about a half teaspoon of turmeric, which I'm going to add to those same spices. And as always with these red-brown curries, I've got some tomato puree, a little bit of mango pickle. I like to put a mango pickle in my Madras curries because it's spicy and it's nice. It tastes great. It gives a nice sharp sour flavor. You could also use just like a regular mango chutney. It'll give it a sweeter flavor. You can also use lime pickle or something like that too. So just kind of what you like. And then I've just got some garam masala, which I'm going to put on at the end, and a couple of limes. So why don't we go over to the pan. I'm just going to get this going right away. And we're just going to start by adding about 2 tablespoons. I say about that much, yeah. About 2 tablespoons of oil. And I'm going to add those whole spices to that. And you want to do that now because you don't want the oil to be burning so much that you're burning your chilies and everything. So all you want to do is release the flavors from the cardamom pods, which you can see here. I've bruised a bit, so that's going to get the flavors out of them. And then I'm going to add my garlic and ginger paste. And I am going to add quite a lot because I do like my garlic and ginger paste, especially in spicy curries. And that's another thing, you know, if you just want to add like a teaspoon or so, that's fine. I'm going to add a bit more. I'm adding about a tablespoon there, probably a little bit more than a tablespoon. To that, I'm going to add my chilies. And we're just going to cook off the rawness in the garlic and ginger. And also add all those spices I just mentioned. That's going to look quite dry in here in a second. Don't worry if that happens, because you're going to add some moisture. I've got it right on. I've got it right on. The highest temperature it could be on right now. Okay, so see this? I've got kind of this is my base right here. If you buy yourself a jar of Madras, it's kind of what you're getting, but this is much better. Now I'm going to put some liquid in there. That's about a quarter cup, so 70 milliliters of tomato puree. There we are. So that's looking really nice now. And this is about the time that my wife Caroline, who's helping me out here, begins to cough a bit. Because there's some real...
I'm going to open the window.
Yeah, why don't you do that? All right. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of base sauce to that. And you always want to add your base sauce just a little at a time. Because you can always add more. There we are. And now I don't want to be stirring from the center anymore, because that is not going to burn. If I show you this, it's not going to burn to the bottom. It's fine. But what it will do is it'll start caramelizing to the sides here. And if I had a metal spoon, it would work a lot better. But metal spoons are a little bit loud when you have the microphone right here. So I'm using this plastic spoon. And so I can really just let that sit there and bubble away and let the flavors develop and become really nice. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some of this meat.
Thank you, Andrew. I do a great job, I know.
I'm not going to add it all because I think that would fill up the pan too much.
Andrew's saying how long does base sauce last if you freeze it in batches?
I put well, officially I say about 3 months, but I actually found some on the bottom of my freezer once. It had been there for about a year. I tried it and it was fine. So it does last a long time. All right, so I can see a little bit of the meat dry because there's not enough sauce in there, so I'm just going to add a little bit more. Mainly around the sides, because that's where the flavor is, right there. Right where it's kind of caramelizing there. That's where the flavor is going to come into it. There we are. And to this, I'm now going to add that mango pickle. And this is a spicy mango pickle. Really nice. It's just about a teaspoon or so of that. All these are suggestions, by the way. So, yes, this is how they would be making it at a curry house. But as you can see, I'm not using any real measures. And you need to try it before you serve it and see if there's anything you want to adjust, because everyone's tastes are different. And just because I like the way that's bubbling away like that, I'm going to add just a little bit more. Just because I want it to keep bubbling for a bit.
Andy says, will a base gravy that you don't use go in the fridge? If so, how long for?
Yes, it will go in the fridge, and I've kept it for up to a week. I usually recommend about 3 days. But yes, it will definitely go in the fridge.
Duncan's asking why does this sometimes have a harsh chili flavour?
Harsh, because you probably haven't cooked out your chili. So you see how mine is really spicy there, and the bubbles, you can just see them. It's going crazy, and that's because you're probably tasting the rawness of your chili powder. Look at that. See, if I had a metal spoon, that would be much better, but I don't. So yeah, you just want to keep it frying, just like this, like I'm doing here. I'm not stirring anywhere in the center. I'm just letting the heat do its job.
Andrew's asking, do you refreeze your unused base sauce?
Yes, and I'm supposed to officially say no, I don't, but to be honest with you, I do.
Yes.
And I've never really noticed a huge difference because the base sauce doesn't have a lot of flavor in it anyway. That's just used to be just like a chicken stock or a vegetable stock is used. So if you're doing this at home and you got yourself a metal spoon, watch. I'll show you. I do have a metal spoon, but I can get that off a lot better, but it's just a little bit too loud with the microphone and all. So that's what I would normally use if I were doing this. Just let it sit there and go for it.
About the pan, you need to put
I'll put a link to the pan. This is a great little pan. I got about 7 of them now. I absolutely love it. And I'm going to add some coriander in there. And also some lime juice. So I've already got a nice tartness, a sourness from the mango pickle. I'm going to add a little bit on top anyway. You always want to add your lime juice or lemon juice or anything like that at the very end, because if you add it too early in cooking, it tends to cook it out. saying that, if you add too much and you think, oh, this is just way too lemony or way too much lime, cook it a little bit longer and it will mellow. I don't want mine to mellow, so.
Jason said he made chicken madras on Friday, but he felt the underlying flavour was of ginger and garlic. Should you have cooked it for longer?
Yeah, you want to make sure you're cooking your ginger and garlic for at least 30 seconds, and you might have added too much for your own personal liking. I like it, but if you added it and that's all you can taste, then you really want to maybe cut back on it or cook it over a low heat for a little bit longer.
David's asking, would you recommend a metal pan over a non-stick type?
Yes, a non-stick pan will not give you this. See that? All that caramelization right there. I'm scraping into the pan. You're not going to get that from a non-stick pan, and you really do want that. That is the best way to get the flavor from all this cooking. All right, and all I need to do here is add a little bit of garam masala. This is homemade garam masala, and a little bit of salt. And I know how much salt to do because I've made this so many times. But there we are. I'm just going to turn that off now.
Raw lamb, could you just let this simmer?
Yes. Now that I'm glad you asked that, and I'll go back to the front camera now.
It's from Oren.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that because yes, the answer is you can add raw meat to any curry house style curry. The only thing is, let's see if it may not be working. Let's see here just a second. Am I back yet?
No, keep talking.
Okay, I'll keep talking while we try and figure this out. But is it going? Yeah? Great, I'm back. All right. So yes, you can, and like a lot of people will add chicken, for example, raw chicken to their curries. But obviously it's going to take a little bit longer to cook. And so you're going to need to be standing in front of your pan. And the whole idea of making curry house style curries is that they are fast to make. If you do the preparation beforehand and have your meat cooked and have your base sauce done and everything, you're going to be able to whip these curries up in 10 minutes. Whereas if you were to try and cook that lamb, it's going to take you a good half hour because lamb takes longer to cook. Plus, you're going to be missing just one of the nice parts about pre-cooking your meat, and that is it adds another layer of flavor. So let's see here, let's see how this tastes. Tastes like a Madras.
Quite a few questions. Would you put a pinch of methi leaves in it?
God, I got some chili there. Yes, I would. Normally, I would. I just ran out. I haven't been to the shop. But and I don't think it's even in that recipe. But I would normally add methi to any spicy curry. Like I wouldn't add it to a korma, for example. But to a Madras, it always is
Sandra
nice.
saying she's missed the beginning. Could you see this later? It's definitely going to.
Yes, Sandra, you can. It's every single video that I'm going to be recording these live every weekday at 5:20, and they will all, depending on where you're watching it from, I'm going to have it on Facebook, in my Facebook group, my Facebook page. It'll be on Twitter for a day. I think it only lasts a day on Twitter, and it will also be on my YouTube channel. So you'll be able to watch it back, and I'll also put links to the actual recipe, so you can go and look at the recipe yourself if you don't have it. If you don't have my book, for example. So yes, it'll be there for you.
Duncan's saying, can you add chili powder at the end if it's not spicy enough?
Yes, and so that's I kind of touched on that earlier. If you're not sure, just add a tiny bit at the beginning, and then add chili powder at the end. But as someone else was saying earlier, sometimes it's a bit overpowering. And so you do want to cook that into the sauce for a while. But there's no reason why you can't add more chili powder, even at this stage of cooking. So if I had tried this just now and decided that's just not spicy enough, I could have added some more chili powder and maybe a little bit more base sauce and just let it simmer for another minute or so, and it would be perfect.
And Lynn wants the link to the pan, so we'll make sure to put that on.
I'll make sure I put that on there for you. Yes, because I've been cooking with this pan less, because all my curry house style curries, I do tend to use this little pan now. I love it. I've got a larger one as well, but I do like just the feel of the smaller pan, and it's one I use all the time. So like I said, I got about 7 of them now. So just because I like to cook a lot of different curries at the same time. And that was actually an idea I was going to have, is to do a live and maybe have 3 or 4 going at the same time, just so people could see that once you have that preparation done, you got your base sauce and you got your meat and everything prepared, you can go for it. And literally in 10 to 15 minutes, you'll have a curry to everyone's liking.
And Carmen's asking what your garam masala recipe is.
Garam masala recipe is in my red book. I've got one in this book as well, my new one, and I also have one on my blog. So if you don't have my books, that's fine. That's why I put them on the blog. So you can look at them there as well. And I'll try and send you a link later when I'm reading through the comments. I'll make sure to send you a link to that if you'd like it.
And Barbara, what if you wanted to make it milder?
Go ahead and just don't. I mean, there's no reason, even though it's a Madras, right? And Madras curries are supposed to be spicy. That doesn't mean you have to do that because there's a lot of really nice flavors in there. There's garlic and ginger. There's the lime juice and the mango and garam masala, all these warming spices as well. The curry powder, the cumin. That would make a good curry in its own right without any chilies, fresh chilies, or chili powder. So people might complain if they went to a restaurant and said, this isn't hot enough, this isn't a Madras. But if that's what you want to do and you want to make it mild, go for it. There's no reason why not.
Do you have any tips on pre-cooking the lamb in a pressure cooker?
Oh, I do that quite a lot. I usually put it on the stew function. I just have one of those countertop ones, so I don't use the old-fashioned type. I've never had much luck with those, but I do have the the Instapot type, and I just put them on stew, and I stew for chicken. I usually stew that for about 20 minutes, and for the lamb a little bit longer, maybe about 30.
Do you make your own spicy mango?
Yes, I do. There's a recipe in this book for it, actually. So it's I make it all the time. I have a spicy mango pickle. I've got a spicy lime pickle as well, and also a vegetable pickle and a garlic pickle. So yes, I do a lot of that.
Does the pan work over a ceramic hob as well?
I don't think this one does. I wouldn't want to say yes because I really doubt it. I think you want to be careful there. I'm not sure.
Probably have to test your own pans.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I said not to use non-stick if you don't have to, but obviously if you have an electric stove and you're using non-stick on that and all that, they will work. You just won't get that caramelization around the sides, but you will still get a very good, tasty curry with that. Right. So is that all the questions for now?
Yeah,
All right. Well, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Tomorrow night, we're doing one of my favorite curries, which is a chicken risala. It's a recipe I learned on Brick Lane in London, and it's also in the new book. So I'm going to be making that tomorrow night. On Wednesday, it's chicken labab dar. And then on Thursday, it's vindaloo. So we're going to go one up from this one. It's going to be a little bit spicier. But again, just like the Madras, you can make it. You don't have to make it all that spicy if you don't want to. And Friday, I don't know what I'm doing yet, but we'll figure something out because I'll be here every day, 5:20 in the evening, cooking a curry from the book. So if you have any recommendations, something you'd like to see me cook, please put it in the comments. I'd be very happy to do that. All right. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow evening, I hope. And if you're on if you're on YouTube or on Facebook, please subscribe to my YouTube channel or join my Facebook group. It's Curry Chit Chat. That would be great. I'd like to see you there. Lots of good convo, and we'll see you tomorrow.